Hello listeners, welcome to the class of Introduction to Chinese and HSK. My name is Henry. Some of you might have already participated in my class, some haven't. That's why I'm doing this recording of what I taught in last trial class. Last time I introduced the Chinese language and the HSK test. So here is a brief summary of it. Firstly, about the Chinese language. I am a native Chinese. I've been learning Chinese for 30 years. Well, that shouldn't have come as a surprise since I am a native Chinese. I have never been abroad before. And I am bilingual. I've been teaching English in China for many years, and I have been a colleague of Tina, your other Chinese teacher. She actually had surprised me very much by acquiring Chinese quickly. And, I've also taught our foreign teachers Chinese. Many of them have passed the HSK test. So Chinese language is something that these people like and can master as well. So can you, listeners. So firstly, let me introduce to you some basic facts about Chinese language. Firstly, probably you have already known it, Chinese is pictographic, not phonetic. By pictographic, I mean the characters depict actual things. The Chinese language started thousands of years ago when people focused a lot on farming, so a lot of the things are very basic stuff like the soil, earth, sky, people, animals, things like that. So I don't know if you still remember this emblem. This was used in the Beijing 2008 Olympic Games. Actually, I don't know if you have noticed that the person depicted on the seal is actually the Chinese character for Beijing. Yeah, Beijing has two characters, right? The second character, Jing, Beijing, the Jing means capital. So let me explain with this example the picture the graphic characteristic of Chinese language. Do you recognize the similarity between the person on the seal and this character? This is Beijing's Jing, meaning capital. Actually, it started with this one. What do you think it looks like? It is actually a castle or a big building. Then the character gradually evolved into its current state. And this is another font of Jing. So, as I said, it's a pictographic. It depicts something. Now you can see the order of strokes. Okay. Then the second fact about Chinese language is that every Chinese character fits into a square. You probably have noticed that. I'll show you again. This, I think, looks beautiful. And, Chinese calligraphy is very famous. Every child in China is required to write beautiful Chinese characters. This is how you do it. Actually, when I taught our foreign teachers, I also asked them to write characters in those squares. They look beautiful, don't they? Okay, the next fact about Chinese language is that every character has exactly one syllable. This is related to how Chinese sounds. For example, this is a text for children in learning Chinese at the very early stage in China. I will read it for you. Okay, you can probably figure out what it says. Firstly, it says a cat. Okay, it says 小猫爱吃鱼. Have you noticed? Every character has one syllable. 小猫爱吃鱼. So the cat loves fish. Then 小狗爱吃肉. Dogs love meat. Then 小马和小牛爱吃草. So small horses and small cattle love eating grass, right? Then the next fact about Chinese language is that although some Chinese characters might seem very complicated, they are actually formed by simple Chinese characters. It is, I think, the same with English, right? You have the roots, which forms complicated characters. I mean words, right? Let's have a look. What do you think this Chinese character means? This is its original state. Actually, it means crop, like wheat, rice, things like that, right? Then, what I'm gonna show you is a complicated character using it as a part. Have you noticed? The left part of it is just this one, right? Then it has another part. The right part actually means your mouth. So they together form another character, right? And you can see the order of the strokes. Then the next fact about Chinese language is that I'm gonna talk about the sound of Chinese characters. For simple ones, you can memorize their pronunciation by Chinese phonetic alphabet or pinyin, the famous pinyin. This is actually a system for denoting and learning Chinese characters pronunciation. People in China used to learn about pronunciation of characters in a different way, but now the most popular way is by pinyin. I'll show you what it means. Actually, you saw it just now when I read the text for children, right? I'll show you again. Like this character has the pinyin like this. So can you try to pronounce it? All right. Actually, it reads ba. It reads as ba. The next one. Okay, actually, I don't know if you have noticed or recognized. It actually depicts a horse. It means a horse. So the pinyin sounds ma, ma. So a horse. Okay. Next one. Sheng means to be born or to give birth to. Alright, sheng. Alright? Next one. You might be wondering, what about complex Chinese characters? Don't worry. Complex Chinese characters pronunciation can often be figured out by their components, by their small parts. For example, do you still remember how this one sounds? Alright. It reads as ba. So, can you guess how do you read this one? Have you noticed that the right part is ba, right? So, together this character reads ba. It means dig up something, right? Then this one means pa, ba, pa, right? Can you tell the difference between these two? This one means to lie on your stomach, right? So, for complex Chinese characters, you add something. For example, this part means your foot, right? Then you kind of split your feet. Then you kind of just lie down. Or this part means your hand. So you use your hand to dig something, to separate things. So actually, ba means 8. It also means to separate something. All right. So do you remember how this one sounds? The horse, right? It reads as ma. So this one is ma. It adds this part, which means female. So altogether, this character means mom. So it reads as also ma. Then this one, have you noticed the two mouths at top, on top? Then ma. So it means to scold someone. Okay, it reads as ma, right? This one is sheng, then this one is xing. This one is also xing. So they sound similar. This one means your gender, your sex. So you are born with it, right? Then the second one, have you noticed this is 女, female? So we were born by your mom, a female. Then this means your surname. So you got your surname, right? So this is what I mean by telling what the Chinese characters sound like by its parts. All right. The last, I guess, is the last quick fact about Chinese language is that every Chinese character has 1 out of 4 possible tones. Probably you have noticed these signs, right? These signs denote the tones. Chinese character has 4 tones. Okay, namely, the first one, you should read them this way: ah, 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 ah. Then wo, wo. Right? The 4 tones are kind of the hardest part for foreigners learning Chinese, because English words don't have tones. You can read every word whichever tone you want, like what, right? But if you've got to be very careful when reading Chinese. You got to use the right tone, otherwise it means different things. For example, Hanyu, right, is what we are learning. Hanyu, Chinese. But if you read it as Hanyu, then it means another language, Korean. So Hanyu, Hanyu are quite different. Right? Now, something about HSK. It is a Chinese language proficiency test. It is an acronym, as you can tell, but it is very different in that it is not an acronym formed by the first letters of English words, but of Chinese words. It actually is 汉语水平考试, means Chinese language proficiency test. So you get HSK, right? Then I should tell you that HSK is the only standard Chinese test in China and probably the world, right? So if you want to show your Chinese ability and to tell others, like a Chinese multinational company, that you're good at Chinese, then pass this test. Actually, usually your Chinese proficiency is referred to by HSK level number. For example, your English, like Mike's Chinese, is HSK 5, and whereas Matthew's Chinese level is HS 4 or something, right? The test is administered by Hanban, or Office of Chinese Language Council International. It is an agency of the Ministry of Education of the People's Republic of China. So quite authoritative and official. For the test, you can take it on paper or via the internet. However, the writing part is easier with an internet-based test. So we highly recommend that you take an internet-based test, because I will show you. For an internet-based Chinese writing test, you only have to type in the pinyin and choose the correct characters instead of having to handwrite them, because that's very hard. See how complicated these characters are, right? You got to memorize every stroke, and their order is hard, right? So computer-based test is recommended. HSK consists of 6 levels, 1 through 6. And I will show you the amount of vocabulary required for each level. As expected, the required characters goes up as the levels go up. Alright, so for the highest level, you got to master 5,000 Chinese words. However, that doesn't mean 5,000 Chinese characters, right? You actually only have to manage to master half of that number of Chinese characters, because Chinese words are formed by characters, and you can combine different characters, same old characters, into totally new words, right? Okay, next one, there is also an oral test, which is called HSK. The last K means 口语. 口语 means oral test, so you have HSKK. Actually, it is a separate test, but it corresponds with the 6 HSK levels of a written test. As you can see, this, right? Then, where can you take the test? Well, all around the globe. There are hundreds of test centers in China and abroad. Written tests are roughly held monthly, and you can get your results 1 month after your test. Then the registration is open 30 days prior to the actual test date of a paper-based test. Or if you are taking an internet-based test, then you can register before 10 days prior to the test date or earlier. Alright, that's the brief introduction of Chinese language and HSK test. I want to show you now the actual test papers, so you have a rough idea. This is a test paper of HSK level 1. As you can see, it's quite basic. The first part is listening, and the listening audio sounds something like this. Right, I want to show you, play you the sound. Wait, let me play you the sound. Alright, here it comes. Firstly, some beautiful music played by Chinese traditional instruments. And here comes the erhu. Then here comes the audio.
大家好，欢迎参加 HSK 一级考试。
大家好，欢迎参加。
Okay, as you can hear, the speed of the sound is kind of slow. So level 1 is quite basic. Okay, but as you go through these levels, you will find the difficulty is gradually increasing. Right, as you can see, this is level 3. There are already more characters, and you don't have pinyin anymore. So you have to actually memorize the words without pinyin. Then level 4, right? You can see the characters got more. Level 5, more character intensive, right? Then up to level 6, actually you have got to be able to understand the whole passage and be able to write an essay up to 400 Chinese characters. So it's quite challenging, but the first few levels are quite easy to pass. So I hope this gives you some confidence if you are preparing to take HSK tests, right? And I hope I will have opportunities to help you prepare the tests, right? If you have any further questions, and please feel free to send me questions on WeChat, not WeChat, probably you don't use that, WhatsApp, right? You can find me in a group, right? Because this is just a summary, I don't want to take too much time of yours, so I'll just stop here. Thank you guys.